setting, so hopefully there's no more echo.
Okay.
Okay, we are back. Hopefully we fixed the echo. You guys let us know if the echo is fixed. Is the echo...
Can you guys hear me?
Is the echo fixed? You guys let us know as you guys come in. Let us know. Hit that like button. All right, let's give them a couple minutes for them to show up.
Okay. Did we lose everybody?
Yeah, but it's okay. It is totally fine. Okay. So let's just talk why they come in, Emily. So we see a big transformation with the U.S., especially Capricorn energy. Okay, I think that's.
Yeah.
I think that's going to change a lot of the power dynamics with the government, a lot of the power dynamics with the people, and just a lot of the structures that were here will no longer be here after this Pluto goes direct. And I think it has a lot to do with the resources of the USA, which leads me to think when Pluto goes direct and it hits the USA Pluto, which is going to be in 2022, if we haven't gotten an economy collapse or potential margin calls or hedge funds losing their power, it's going to probably happen during that Pluto direct season. What do you think about that?
Absolutely. Especially because I was looking at what happened when Pluto moved from Sagittarius into Capricorn. And Pluto moved into Capricorn just a couple of months after 2008, after the financial crash, which you could say was really big Pluto and Sagittarius energy, right? Wall Street thought that they couldn't do any wrong, they couldn't possibly mess anything up, nobody was ever going to catch on to this. And then Pluto and Capricorn has meant a lot about them trying to hold on to that power ever since everybody saw what they could do and the damage that could be wrought. And that with some other really major abuses of power. That comes with Capricorn too. Capricorn wants to hold on to everything that's accumulated and it wants to accumulate more. So when this return happens and when the direction starts to change and go forward again in the late degrees, things are going to pick up really quickly. And there isn't a single structure that we have that isn't going to see some sort of change coming to it, but everything happening on Wall Street and on the stock exchange, I feel like it's going to start getting really explosive really quickly.
Right. And when she says quickly, I do think it's going to be extremely fast. I mean, the transformations are going to come in like that. So I think we all should be ready for that and not to be nervous for that. But I do think when Pluto goes direct, it's going to be an awesome time to really make sure that we are prepared, financially prepared, mentally. It's going to be a lot of mental turmoil during that time. I mean, when Pluto comes in and starts destroying stuff, starts taking down some of the structures, it's going to be wild. Okay, Emily, we're still getting mic issues. I'm so sorry. They're saying it's staticky now because I turned up your gain. Okay, is it still staticky? Purely unbounded? I just turned down the gain.
Is it me? I'm good, Maddie. I'm good. It's just you, me, and John anyway, so we can fix that.
Yeah. And then I could cut out these parts before I do. I think we have something playing in the background. Is that you, Emily? Do you have something playing in the background?
I have my AC on.
No, there's an audio playing in the background.
No, I don't have anything other than
Something about tarot. Where's that coming from? Okay, it's gone now. No, it's not. Something's playing in the background.
I don't think it's me. I can't hear anything. It's Gemini moon, man.
I'm telling you.
All over the place.
It's crazy. Oh, I'm so sorry. It's my phone playing in the background, so it's not on the live. Okay. Oops. Okay. Okay. Sorry about that, guys. So sorry. We're having some major technical difficulties, and it's not even Mercury retrograde, so that's crazy. That's crazy. Anyway, so where does this Pluto go forward for you, Emily? Where's your Pluto at right now?
So this is a really interesting kind of, Pluto is about to conjunct my midheaven, and my midheaven is conjunct US's Pluto, like exactly, like to the degree to the second. So when that return happens, I'm going to be having like some sort of massive like transformation in my own career,
Mm-hmm.
which has me a little. I never see a Pluto return or anything else like that as happening a square, even a trine to Pluto without getting nervous, because there's such a big deal. Like even if they end up positive, they still really put you through a lot on the way there. That's how transformation is, right? Like you have to burn some stuff off to see what's new and underneath.
Right. And I have my Pluto going direct opposite of yours. Okay, so yours is happening in your midheaven. Opposite of midheaven is the house sector of your home, and that's where my Pluto is getting impacted the most. Literally dead smack on my home. So that's going to show changes of home. This is going to show changes of my soul, because that's like your soul house. That's like the deep, most inner part of your soul. Just my overall desires on a soulful level could be getting majorly changed during this time. And then another thing that's obviously going to get changed is the rules to home sector. That's the mother sector. That's the children's sector. I might be having my first children during this Pluto going direct over my fourth house, but that's going to be a 7-year cycle or something like that.
Years and time.
Yeah.
Even when, I guess like the thing to mention about Pluto is because it moves as slow as it does, those big generational planets, what you're looking for, and like something that Jason would be looking for if he was reading your chart, would be contact from like your personal planets. Like, is there a conjunction? Is something squaring it? Is something trining it? What's the moon doing with it? Because anytime one of those faster planets hits it and touches it, like there's usually some big, powerful changes that take not only the power of Pluto on, but then the flavor of whatever planet is like in communication with it. So I think that you could have some definite activations that we should be able to track to see when it's most likely that baby Jason is on the way.
And that also stands for John, you too, because I'm pretty sure we both have our Pluto kind of going forward in the same house, or at least is activated in our fourth house. Another thing I would mention with the Pluto going direct in the fourth house for me and anyone that has that, especially since it's happening in Capricorn. Capricorn rules like physical manifestation along with all the other earth signs, and it rules foundation and stuff like that. I could see maybe me getting into real estate during this transit and buying my own my first property for investing. What do you think about that?
Absolutely. And I guess John's saying that my mic is low again.
Her mic is turned down or something. It's only on her side. Yeah.
We saw this one, the last one, but I did check all of my levels.
Yeah, and I turned my mic down too. Let me just go ahead and keep turning it down and keep turning this gain up. Okay, we're just gonna have to keep going, Emily. I have the gain up on your mic and I have the gain up on mine, but I turned I turned it down, so we'll have to see. We'll have to see if that's a little bit better.
I can't hear you, Jason.
Oh my goodness. Oh my goodness. Yeah, that's the problem. I turn myself down and turn you up. Blah blah. So we might have to we're gonna have to figure this out for next time. We might have to figure this out for next time. Wow. Yeah, the Pluto is really messing with us today, huh? Oh, GameStop's popping.
We made the mistake. We've been calling on its name as we've been doing all this preparation.
Totally.
I'm telling Jason, I don't know if he can even hear me saying this, but it's probably my 12 house placements that keep turning my mic down.
Yeah.
Putting me back behind the scenes, whether I want to or not.
Yep, if you guys have 12 house placements, things can be like that. You can almost feel like you're getting lost in the world sometimes. And you're not always being in the world the way you want to. But those energies will pass, and you just have to be able to work that energy. Like next time me and Emily go live, we're probably going to have some different equipment going on here because we're just not figuring it out right now.
Figure it out.
We
like seriously,
Yeah, totally. Okay, so let's see. Now Pluto's going direct on top of AMC's. Well, it's going to be around AMC's Venus. Okay, and Venus in astrology rules relationships, it rules money, it rules harmony, it rules anything aesthetic. It could show like merger type activity with stocks. It could show a lot of communication. Now it is happening with Pluto, and Pluto it isn't really that big on communication, but it is big on resources. It is big on working behind the scenes, and it is big on taking things over. So Venus Pluto touches for the stock could show takeovers, it could show mergers, it could definitely show relationships being made behind the scenes. And when Pluto goes direct, all that kind of stuff will start to show and be impactful really quickly. And it'll be like exactly on Venus towards 2022. So again, we've said it before, we said, and we're going to say it again. 2022 for AMC looks pretty fucking interesting. Okay, which is why I just brought some calls that go all the way to July of 2022 just to play it safe. But I think March of 2022 looks very, very interesting for AMC. Looks very interesting for the whole U.S. stock market. And what date did you say that's going to hit the Pluto for the U.S. exactly?
For the U.S., it's 2/22/22. So get your tinfoil hat out for that one. Like that is already got the numerologists in the community going absolutely crazy. That's such a monumental thing is going to happen on such a monumental day. That can't happen twice as long as we live.
And
Until like 30/22.
right. And what I find really interesting of that is the 22nd day, 2 plus 2 is 4, and the 2022, which is also 4. And you guys know I've been seeing a lot of 4s. And then if we just count all the 2s in that, 0, 2, 2, 2, and then 2, 0, 2, 2, that equals 4, which is insane. So you guys know that I'm actually looking very forward to that just for that reason. We've been seeing a lot of 4 synchronicities. Now for GameStop, where does that hit? Do you remember?
I don't remember off the top of my head, but I can pull up.
Okay, I'm gonna pull it up too. Okay, so if we look here, guys, we have this is the Pluto retrograde right here, and we can see that's gonna
Pluto and Sag, they're Gen Z.
yeah, and it's gonna hit.
That's going in their 10th house too.
Mm, Yeah, it will be activated in 10th house. So true. Yeah, and that's really good for the standing of GameStop. Really good for the company reputation. Really good for the company to gain some more power. And it looks like it's going to be, when it goes direct in 2022, it's going to be hitting over Mercury. And Mercury is in the 0 degree of Aquarius. Wow. So that looks like some interesting futuristic, destroying the old, bringing the new. It could also deal with numbers because I know GameStop's going to get into crypto. And as Emily fucking called out perfectly, the crypto reversal, okay? When Jupiter went back into Aquarius. When Pluto goes over this Mercury, 0 degrees Aquarius, I definitely see some crypto moves as well for GameStop.
I agree. I agree with all that.
Definitely. So 2022, Pluto goes direct, and it goes direct in October, but it's going to hit over Mercury in 2022. Lots of news for GameStop between 2 and 2, and then for AMC, I definitely see lots of mergers, deals being made, and a lot more communication, and some changes with the aesthetics of how AMC may do things. So maybe they come up with new way to present things in the theater. I know they're getting into live sport events, and it might even go into more live stuff when it comes to concerts and the artists as well. I could totally see that.
I think it's so interesting about GameStop and AMC. They got so lucky on this. They're kind of getting like the cash flow before the innovation to be able, and like all of this contact that they've had with all of their shareholders and everything that's going on. Like they have all of the need for innovation now, and I'm really excited to see what that looks like for both of them in the beginning of February because I think they're taking it in different directions. I don't know. We've talked about a merger between the two of them. That could be a 2022 thing too, seeing it come up. Anything, I'm like seriously not ruling anything out. I think it's going to be beyond my imagination, whatever we're seeing.
Yeah. And that's a really good thing. That's a really good point. Whatever we are seeing isn't necessarily what we're gonna see when Pluto goes direct. Because what does Pluto also rule? It rules things hidden, it rules secrets, things in the dark. So yes, that's a great point, Emily. There's gonna be all
That's
sorts.
such a good point from you too. It's probably what's being done behind the scenes now that we're gonna see revealed when this goes direct and all of that innovation being able to like come out for both of them.
And what I'm most excited about this is Capricorn energy, guys. So this is dealing with karma, okay? And Capricorn deals with the work you put in, okay? And I know every one of us MoonLords have been putting in mad work on this AMC situation, on this GameStop situation, and our karma is going to come back, all right? Saturn Capricorn wants to give you what you worked for, just as long as you worked for it correctly. And you know what else is really cool about Capricorn? The longer you work on something, the longer you attack something, the longer you lay each brick perfectly with Capricorn energy, the better the milestone will be, the better the level up will be. Okay, so I definitely, me personally, I'm gonna level up when Pluto goes direct because I know I've been putting in mad Capricorn work. That's facts. I've been staying consistent. I've been staying disciplined. I've been keeping the structure. And if you guys have been doing the same thing, you guys are gonna get paid off too. Okay, so does any? Let's see. Who do we have? Okay, we have 3 people in here. Does anyone want a reading where their Pluto goes direct? Because this is the time to get it. Until then, I guess I'm going to talk about Pluto going direct if it's in one of the 4 quadrant houses, which are considered the most powerful houses. Do you agree with that, Emily? The first, fourth.
Your angular houses, absolutely.
Right, that will be the first house, which is the house of the persona, the house of you, the map of your life, how you see yourself, how you want to project yourself in the world. The 4th house would be your family, be your home, your personal life, your inner soul. The 7th house would be one-on-one relationships and how you balance those relationships. And then the 10th house would be everything you're doing in the world and how you're seen in the world, okay? So if you're having a Pluto going retrograde in the first house or going direct in the first house, please believe you're going to have a personal transformation on how you see yourself and how you want to present yourself in the world. There's going to be like you're going to have like a new identity, okay? And since this is earth energy, you're going to want to show that identity. You're going to want to show that change, and it could happen on the body, okay? So I wouldn't be surprised if you have Capricorn in your first house that you have a aesthetic change on the body. And it could just be like a new haircut, or it could be a new way of dressing, or it could be, you decided to buy something new, a new resource, or something new to present to the world. Okay. Emily, anything you want to add to that first house? Okay, so we may have lost Emily for a second. Man, I swear, we're having some serious like Mercury retrograde energy going on here. It's crazy. Oh, there she is.
Can anybody hear me?
Yes.
Okay. If you have any Saturn transits or contacts at the time and you are a Capricorn rising, so you have Pluto going direct in your first house, so like a self transformation, that almost definitely points to weight loss if that's something that you're interested in. Because Saturn is the planet that likes to promote minimalization and that which can shrink and all that kind of stuff. So that's something to look for if you are looking for some kind of bodily transformation. But it can also just happen in your sense of self, Capricorn rising. It could be just like how you view yourself and your persona and your personality in a structural change.
Right, right. And we went over the 4th house, okay? That will be the next angular house, which is naturally the house of the moon. And again, if it's happening in the 4th house, expect major transformations with the home. If you have kids of your own, or if you deal with the parents a lot, you could have some power struggles going on there. Or you guys could have been having some power struggles over the last few months, and then when Pluto goes direct, you guys could have a new foundation, a new structure amongst your family, amongst your home, right? And if you guys are thinking about children and it's happening in your 4th house, yes, please believe you're very, very, very fertile. So Pluto's also
Like rebirth energy anyways. Like I can totally I think we could make a good argument that some parts of pregnancy have very Plutonian feels to them. So if you are seeing Pluto transits in the 5th, forget it. You're probably gonna have sex couplets, there's just like so many things that are happening there. But Pluto in the 4th house of home definitely points to major changes in the home, and one of the biggest changes you can have is welcoming a new
Facts. Okay, and let's see. Also, Pluto rules resources. So if you guys want to buy a home and you have Pluto transiting that, or sell a home, awesome, absolutely awesome energy for that. Now, let's get on Pluto in the seventh house, which is probably going to be the most eventful place to have this Pluto, as far as like with relationships, to say the least, or with other people. And since me and Emily are both Saturn or Venus risings, we understand relationship power struggles, if if any, right? Or how to balance relationships, right? So with this Pluto going direct or retrograde in your seventh house, it's all about, to me, balancing the dynamics between, who's taking the lead, who's not taking the lead. How do we compromise? How do we find a better structure to move forward to build a better relationship?
Yeah, there is. I mean, the scary thing about a Pluto transit and things going into it in your seventh house, like anybody who natally has this placement, so we're looking at like Leo risings for the most part, it's whether Pluto is going to be in Capricorn in your seventh house. But if there has been some sort of a power imbalance or something that's been going on and you guys are just dealing with it because it's easier than changing it, Pluto is not going to let that continue. If it's not sustainable in the long run, if it's not something that's like equally delivered, and even frankly, power imbalances in general have the potential to just get upset in a different direction. Like somebody else has the upper hand and they've been used to not having it. So it definitely comes down in the seventh house, though, one-on-one dynamics. That's where the power struggles are going to be.
Now, another thing that can happen, which I'm not trying to scare anybody, but let's say you have a partner who's
You know where you're going.
let's say you have a partner who's been doing something behind your back, or who hasn't been truthful, being secretive about something. When Pluto goes direct in October, unfortunately, you're probably going to find out about it. I mean, would you say that's true?
If there's been deception, if there have been things that have been done that are unfair to you, that are behind your back, that may not feel like a gift when they're being revealed to you, just remember if they are being revealed to you that it is in your best interest that happens. In the worst case scenario, sometimes Pluto can really indicate a death of a partner, but again, that would be something that has a lot of other aspects going on with it. And if anything that heavy, if you're worried about anything that like looks super negative with a Pluto transit or anything like that, I really encourage you to get a reading because it is so easy to just kind of like look through your own transit to come up with a worst case scenario. But an astrologer can let you know if you actually have something to be concerned about. Like I have coming up on October 9th, I just showed this to Jason. We have a Sun and Mercury Mars conjunction, I think, if I'm remembering that correctly. And it is dead ass on my Pluto. And I sent it to him being like, is this it? Is this the day I die? Is it all over? Because this is such awful looking energy. And he had to kind of like talk you down to the ledge. And if you're a moon lord and you're on a Discord and you see something like that, you have access to both sides, so feel free to ask. But especially with those heavier, like upsetting planets, don't let it just bounce around in your own head if you are having like hesitation or nerves about it long to go through all of that. It can usually give you a pretty good idea of what you're actually looking for.
Right. And that's key. Don't just assume things with Pluto, okay? You have to look at the entire picture, especially when it's in Capricorn, okay? You definitely want to look at what's been building up in Capricorn and what's been happening during the retrograde. Now, another thing I would mention with Pluto going retrograde in your seventh house, you could be looking at your partners and you could be wanting to break free from it. You could be wanting to end a relationship with somebody because you don't like a certain dynamic. And I should say, I do want to caution you guys to wait until October before you make a final decision if you're being indecisive about it now. Because a Pluto retrograde in your seventh house isn't really a time to make changes with relationships. It's time to get revealed on what you don't like about relationships, what you do like about relationships, what you don't like about the dynamics. And then when it goes direct, then you can make that decision to maybe pull away from it or to continue it in a better way. Now, the last thing I'm going to leave with a Pluto retrograde in 7th house is Pluto rules desire, especially deep, primal sexual desires. Pluto does rule the private parts, therefore rule sex, okay? So, if you have Pluto retrograde in your 7th house and you don't have a partner, you might be really, really horny. And you've probably been horny for months, okay? But don't make sudden, quick decisions based on that energy. And if you're in a relationship and you may not be getting satisfied the way you want to get satisfied, it might be a time to just speak on that. Tell your partner what you want. Tell your partner what you're looking for, and give your partner an opportunity to make changes there for you instead of you going somewhere else for that change.
Oh, that is such a good point, because that is like Pluto is like sex, darkness, and the power of a lot of those taboo things. And that is something that, like, being frank can break apart really good marriages. You know, that's not, like, something that everybody can live without, especially if there's something going to it. And Jason just totally hit the nail on the head with the best practice. If Pluto is coming for your relationships or your home or whatever, get in there and face it head on. Absolutely. If it's something that hasn't been exposed to your partner, if you haven't put yourself out there, or if you haven't been receptive in hearing it from your partner, my advice would be just to kind of like deal with it and do whatever you can to resolve it if that's the relationship you want to keep. But absolutely, sex issues could be flying out of the woodwork at you in your personal relationship. And this is not just like, this is also business relationships. And the 7th house is also the house of open enemies. Because sometimes the most committed relationships we're ever in is with the people we hate that hate us back. You know, like they get like so much energy and airtime in our mind. And if there is somebody that you have just been like such an adversary that you're constantly in battle with, this is another time, and this is another like transit of this house where you can see activity there as well.
Beautiful. And one thing I do want to mention, and this will also apply to the 10th house especially, but it will still apply to the 7th house, is you guys could be coming into new relationships that are going to help you get more power in your own life, okay? Because power does rule resources. So you could have, this is how it's going to play out, right? You're going to have people who are going to want more power over you, but you're also going to attract more people of power, which can help you get power from that relationship, okay? The 7th house is relationships. The 8th house is the fruits of those relationships, the resources of the relationships. And the 8th house is ruled by Pluto. So if you guys understand what I mean by that. Okay, what's up, Joey? What's up? Okay, so let's go to the 10th house. And since Emily has Pluto activating her 10th house right now, I'm going to let her take the lead on this one.
Oh my goodness, I have been working so hard to try and be worthy of whatever's coming. But so your midheaven, in the most public place, if you have Pluto transits happening there, you want to be very careful about what you keep private and what you say. That is a big time of either just being rewarded for efforts that were put past, that you put in the past, or it can be an enormous time of scandal, because it is, again, our most visible house. The 10th house is the highest house past the horizon. And it always represents like the persona that people take of us. And that's something that can wield a lot of power, you know, how the public sees you, how you interact with the public, and the public can also destroy you, being totally honest. You can see that with people that have like worked against public good and just had, you know, even with social media and Twitter, like can just be destroyed by just making somebody's name and face public for something they thought that they did, you know, in private, and being able to see it. And sometimes, like, I don't know, it's just a very public transit, and it comes with some idea of transformation of the 10th house, which I've honestly seen just in the transit, but that's going to be a culmination for me and for anybody else. Like, of course, rising, that's for you too.
Right. Now, since Pluto in the 10th house becomes all about gaining power, gaining resources, again, you could be running into other people of power. And just be careful of just getting into ego battles, okay? With Pluto in the 10th house, it's going to really, it can really inflate the ego if you're not careful. It could really create, you know, Pluto is the higher octave of Mars. Mars rules war, all right? Pluto rules just completely ending and destroying things, okay? So don't just fall into the energy of like, I just want to destroy everything. Oh, fuck this. I just want to throw everything away.
Yeah.
Yeah, easy recipe of burning bridges. This is like today I just feel like talking shit to my boss, and the boss also is feeling that Pluto energy. He just might say, "Get the fuck out of here." Okay, so just be very careful of turning up too quickly with the Pluto transit in your 10th house, because that's gonna always activate more Pluto energy, activate more transformations, and sometimes Pluto can suddenly you're right here with Pluto, and Pluto can suddenly take you right here, right? But suddenly you could be right here and you could be up here, okay? So 10th house Pluto transit, your lives are gonna totally have a transformation of resources, power, structure, discipline, hierarchy, all that good stuff, okay? Now, does anyone want to name where their Pluto is going forward in their chart? Because I know we only have a few people in here, and if you guys want to get on a reading, let us know. We're going to leave 5 minutes for one of you guys to confirm you want to get on the reading, and then we're going to go from there. Okay, let's see. Joey says, it almost happened to me. My relationship saw a big slap in the face this weekend to stop toxic habits and work through them, or just leave. Decide to work together. I decided to work through it with her. Yes, exactly. A retrograde isn't.
Exactly, yeah, what Pluto is being described for sure. Which, I mean, I'm sure one of you, at least, hopefully both of you, have to believe that it's out in the open. You know, like there's stuff that sometimes we have to let linger in our relationships for way too long because we're all so busy, and you just have to keep up with whatever's going on at the same time. But like being able to dig into that, I'm so happy you guys decided to work through it. I'm like super party like that, and always like it's always love. But being able to do that and actually like agree that you're both going to work on another brick in the foundation is such a big deal. And the intimacy of that is very Plutonian as well.
Right. That's another thing. If you guys do decide to work through those nasty transformations, when your partner is saying, "Hey, I need this, I need that. We need to fix this, we need to fix that." If you guys do decide to work through it and actually get through it, Pluto rules deep connections. Pluto is not surface at all. Okay, so when Pluto makes a commitment, especially in Capricorn energy, right? It's a very strong commitment, and will only bring the relationship like literally 10 times closer. It's going to bring the trust closer. It's going to bring the intimacy closer. It's going to bring the vulnerability between you two less. That way, you guys can just live in better harmony, always, for sure. I know I've been going through relationship stuff, and for me, you guys know I'm with a double Leo. She's very strong. I'm very strong. I got a lot of Capricorn energy. I got Pluto retrograde in my first house naturally. Okay, I've had to let go of some of my power, some of my desires, to find a balance with her. Okay, and that's really what I like to think this Pluto and Capricorn can help people with. Help rebalance the foundation. Help get everything back on track so things can move forward correctly and more smoothly. Okay. Okay. So I think we covered mainly everything we want to speak about. Key points: Pluto goes direct in October. Okay. That's going to suddenly make changes all over the place with everybody, especially the dynamics of power, resources. And then Pluto 2020 or February 22nd, 2022 will hit the US Pluto, and that's called a Pluto return. That happens like every like what? It's something stupid, like close to like 80 years or something like that.
It's like 4 times that. It's almost 250 without it.
Or,
Never mind the bad math in Mars. It's like 250 years, however many times that is.
right. So literally, that's how many times this happens. Okay. So please believe when Pluto goes on top of the U.S. Pluto, it's going to change things. Now, one last thing I do want to leave you guys with, how I see it. I don't know if you guys heard, but they're saying if the economy crashes, that's going to lead to margin calls, because as the economy collapses, the stock market collapses, the banks and everybody lending money are going to want their money back. Okay, and when Pluto it starts getting on a mission to get this money back, it's going to get us money back, okay? So I do expect, if we haven't seen margin calls before February, I know that's a long time, I do think March next year, end of February next year, that's a very strong possibility of margin calls, a very strong possibility.
It's looking like it. If it doesn't happen before then, even if it does happen before then, it looks like a second round is very
Joey says her Pluto is in 10 degrees Sagittarius. My Pluto is 23 degrees Sagittarius. Okay, so you guys
I
both.
have a super wide Pluto conjunction, so that's probably definitely part of what you're working with right there.
Yeah.
Anybody from the same generation kind of ends up with this sort of thing, so we'd have to take like a deeper look at other aspects that are going on in between you, because Jason and his girl have something like super similar, right? Anybody that's kind of close to you in age is going to have something around that. But if there's contacts that are hitting in between them, you'll definitely know. And it sounds like there are some like greater synastry, like platonic aspects with you.
Totally. What I'll do, Joey, real quick, is I'm just going to pull up your chart because I have you in here. And we're just going to take a quick look at where exactly your Pluto hits. And then we'll call it a day on here. Let's see. Joey. Unless, John, you want a reading. I got you. Okay, Joey. Okay, his birthday is October 30th, 1997.
Okay.
And it's going to be 12:23 a.m. California. Okay, I'm going to pull your chart up right here, Joey. All right, John wants us to check his too. Okay, so right now, Joey, you have a Pluto square the moon 0 degrees.
That's definitely your girl right there.
Yeah, for sure.
No, I'm so glad that you guys are okay and working through it. That's normally the kind of thing we would have wanted to give you a heads up for, but for the most part, you guys are already through like the worst of it.
Right. Now, since you have your moon in your third house, the moon is everything you're familiar with. It's everything that's in your immediate surroundings. And the moon rules your needs, okay? The moon rules your emotional reaction to stuff, okay? And Pluto rules your desires. And Pluto's also conjunct your Neptune, okay? Which Neptune is about fantasies, imagination, things you want to see into existence and stuff like that. And so you're really looking at your surroundings, and you're looking at your fantasies of it, how you want things to be, how you need things to be on a very spiritual, deep level, because the moon is very deep, Pluto is very deep, and Neptune is very deep as well, especially when all these things are coming together. Joy, you have a really good, strong energy right now to manifest your surroundings, manifest the people you care most about, and transform that situation, transform their reality, transform your reality. Okay, you have a lot of transformational power, especially transformational power from the spiritual realm, the spiritual world, the internal space, the intuition. Okay, that's another thing. Your intuition could be really high right now, and that could also, sometimes when Pluto gets involved, you get a lot of intuition, and that intuition can make you go a little crazy. Okay, because Pluto sees too much sometimes. It goes too deep. Okay, so be careful of going too deep and needing changes too quickly with this one. You got to give it some time, because when it's on your moon, this can be very irritating at Pluto square the moon, for sure. Okay, now the moon rules your 12th house. Okay, so you're actually going through a spiritual upgrade with this. Okay, you got the Pluto square the moon. Moon rules your 12th house. Okay, so you could be going through a lot of thinking, a lot of in your head. And again, you want to stay grounded. You want to stay calm and collected, because the universe is definitely showing you a lot of the stuff that you could be losing energy with. A lot of stuff you're giving away too much energy. Areas where you're not giving enough energy. Areas where you're giving away too much power. Okay, so yeah, you especially are definitely looking at the power dynamics. And you have the ability, since it's happening in Capricorn, to really construct all those power dynamics between your personal relationships and your surroundings for the better. And one last thing I want to say about this is at the very end of your 10th house, or excuse me, your 5th house. The 5th house also can represent children. So you are definitely, without a doubt, fertile with this energy. Okay? Yeah.
I do. I'm glad you said it. I wasn't going to.
Okay. Another cool thing this says, Joey, since this has a lot to do with karma, since it's in Capricorn, and the 5th house is speculative, meaning the risk-taking house. It's the house where risk can be taken in the house where basically, to explain that is that it has a lot to do with the father, it has a lot to do with children. The father educates the children, raises the children, and sends them off to the world, so it becomes speculative on what they do. Okay, so that's why it's a risk-taking speculative house. So your speculation energy could be paying off, aka the stock market. The things you've been doing in the stock market, if you've been putting in work and you've been working a long time, that stuff can definitely start paying off towards the end of the year. Okay, facts. All right, so purely unbounded. Let's jump into yours. Joe, if you have any questions off that, let me know. Okay. Do you need his birthday, Emily?
Nope, I'm good.
Okay, perfect. Okay, John. So, John, you have your Pluto. Oh, it's actually not activating your fourth house yet. So, what I said earlier doesn't necessarily apply to you because it's in your third house and it's in the sign of Capricorn, and Aquarius rules your fourth house. Okay. So for you, oh wow, you have a lot of third house energy just like Joey does, and it looks like it is square your Mercury 0 degrees. 0 degrees. So wow. Your Mercury is in your 12th house again, or 12th house. So we have 12th house energy again, and now we have third house energy again. Now, Joey, Mercury in your 12th house is going to give you a person who's or not Joey, John, is always going to give you a person who's always thinking. Okay, 12th house is a very thought-provoking house when you put Mercury in there, because Mercury is the planet of processing, planet of communication, the planet of thinking. In the 12th house, the communication could be a little bit limited because Mercury is in the house where it's not dealing with the physical world, right? It's dealing with more of the internal space, what's happening in the mind. Pluto in the third house is dealing with the surroundings, your things that you're familiar with. So when you have Pluto retrograde on your Mercury in the 12th house, you're consciously thinking about your surroundings, and you're very, 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 very in tune with the power dynamics with everything that's happening in your surroundings. You're very in tune with the structure and how well things are being structured with everything in your surroundings. Emily, you got something for that?
I think it's really interesting because you have that Pluto Saturn conjunction in the beginning of Capricorn. So that means that something when Pluto was first went over it. Oh, I'm sorry, no, that's Uranus and Saturn. But still, that's such a heavy placement to have. And Pluto's already activated that in the beginning of the big red, like right around the end of 2008, beginning of 2009. So I almost wonder if you wouldn't see something kind of like dissolving with that if it starts to go direct. But I really second everything that Jason said. And I do think that this is energy that you, almost more than anybody that I know, are going to be able to channel and ride that lightning. Like, not a lot of people can really, like, make this power work for them. But you have that Pluto-Sun conjunction in the first, and this is your bag. Like, this is something that you should absolutely be doing more studying in and seeing what you want to do with that. Because you can use this kind of information, energy, in about any way that you want to. But this one is specifically going to be speaking to immediate surroundings, siblings, communication, stuff around that, some sort of a change in that area.
Right, and since Mercury in your chart rules over the 11th house of long-term goals, what you're doing in the world, communities you belong to, and it also rules your 8th house of, all the transformations you want. This is a really good time, extremely good time for you, John, to make plans on how you want to manifest your life going forward. Okay, the 11th house of long-term goals, 8th house of transformation. So you're getting all sorts of downloads right now, on how you can manifest your life for the better. And this does involve cutting out some certain things in your surroundings to get there. Okay, making space in your third house, your surroundings, so you can get to your long-term goals. The 11th house and the 8th house get to the resources you're looking for. So you, especially John, you should be really thinking about what you really want in the future, because you have amazing energy to see exactly how to transform that. Okay, you're getting a lot of clarity on how you want to transform your life and how you're going to be able to transform your life. But since this is square, it obviously tells me you're going to have to make some tough decisions, especially with relationships, aka that's Libra. Venus is in Libra too. You're going to have to make some transformations with your relationships so you can get to your long-term goals, so you can have the desires you want. So for you, it's really important that you don't fight what the universe is telling you to end. And I'm not necessarily saying this about relationships, but I'm saying it's about the relationships you have in your surroundings, the relationships you have with everything, all right? Anything you're familiar with, all right? So if you have a relationship with a TV show that you can't stop watching, but you know that TV show is wasting a lot of your time, then you now know that, hey, maybe getting rid of this TV show is going to bring in new energy so you can think of new things to do going forward, okay? Joey says, no question, it all resonate. Last week has definitely been a huge spiritual upgrade in many areas. Yes, you're definitely going through those spiritual upgrades. John says, Mercury goes timber, shaking my head.
Yeah, I read that. I don't think that you should be shook about that, John. I honestly, between the 12th house, if you guys are listening to my nails, I apologize. But between the 12th house energy with your Mercury and the Mercury going retro on that, I see that as development. Honestly, I see that behind the scenes development, and it would not at all be surprised with the Pluto third house contact if it had something to do with content. If it was something that had to do with a podcast, something to do with something being broadcast, you going into the background and being able to see what you want that to sound like, what your messaging looks like, and having to take a very solo journey of crafting all of that, I can see being really big things that are starting now and culminating towards the middle to the end of October. And I think that September period, right in the middle of it, is going to be when you are hot and heavy, really trying to work out what that sounds like and what you want to say. And something to launch probably when Pluto is going direct in your third. That's my long on that one.
I totally agree with that. Another thing I want to say, John, is you have a beautiful 0-degree transiting Jupiter, or sextiling your Saturn and sextiling your Uranus, which is further going to indicate that you have an opportunity to really thrust yourself to the future, okay? But with Jupiter sextiling Saturn will show you got to put in a lot of work, consistent work long term, and I'm sure you have been doing that, okay? But continue that energy because you got a major green light to really construct your life going forward pretty much the way you see fit. You also have a Pluto Uranus opposition, and that Uranus opposition is in your 7th house. So again, changes in relationships are happening for you, okay? And it's really important that you just don't fight that, because not fighting that and getting on the wave appropriately is going to open you up for bigger changes for the better going forward, okay? So John, if you have any questions off that or any statements, let us know, but we're going to leave it off that. Emily, do you have any final statements you want to make?
I don't think so. We have really exciting stuff coming up for you guys. And just a final for AIM family, for anybody who's here, we always kind of do this times a month. I don't know where AMC and GameStop are at the moment, but we're about to go into a new moon, and they are going to be bigger. So if anybody is bummed out on the energy, I know people have been getting kind of like shook and being like, it's still a buy or whatever. We always go through this in the waning moon cycle. We're like at the last couple of days of it, we always feel low and depleted. Like amazing things are right around the corner.
100% agree. You guys know the big moves are going to happen during the waxing moon. All we've been doing so far is consolidating for AMC. And keep in mind,
beautifully, this consolidation has been gorgeous. Like we couldn't have asked for better.
They're barely able to drop us on the waning. They've been barely able to drop us on the waning, which tells me this new moon is going to be nice, okay? The new moon phase is going to be nice. And we're going to keep you guys updated. You guys know we're going to be dropping videos each and every week for AMC. And yeah, AMC is definitely 100% a buy. Do not worry. And this next moon phase to me is looking super bullish. And Emily brought this up to me. We have this next full moon is going to be a fucking blue moon on top of that.
A literal blue moon, like that once in a blue moon saying that you've been hearing since you were a kid. We're on it now because it's the second Aquarius moon of the year, and that happens very rarely. And like John saying in the chat, like it does look amazing for both of them, for GameStop and AMC. And it's hard not to be really excited about what we're going to be looking at in the next week.
Facts. Okay, so guys, we're going to leave it there. Next time we go live, I got you guys on the audio. We're going to make some major changes. We attempted to do that today, but it just didn't work out accordingly, okay? But next time we go live, it's going to be better audio, for sure. All right, so Emily, Where can everyone find you if they want to get some readings or just keep updated on what you're doing?
Yeah, you can find me at lovemoneyvenus.com, and all my socials are there for you to be able to link to or find anything else. And coming up soon, I'll have my blog posted there as well. And I'm going to try and keep up everything that we do with the episode, following it up with the blog, so you can see a little bit deeper what we're talking about and all those things degrees that we went over.
Keep in mind, Emily is a Gemini, guys. She's an amazing writer. She's amazing at analyzing things and then constructing it in beautiful words for everyone to understand. So trust me, you guys want to see that blog article, okay? Because she's writing down things in a very clear way to understand it, exactly how these transits are working, and she's giving us visuals of the charts so you guys can follow along. So I'm definitely going to be sharing that blog article the moment it comes out because it's fucking epic. And if you guys don't remember, Emily was on here 2 weeks ago, and she nailed her crypto reversal so fucking brilliantly, so brilliantly. She said it's going to reverse, and it literally reversed like days later, and it's been reversing since. Beautiful, well done. Okay.
Thank you so much for saying that. That's really amazing.
Yeah. Thank you so much for putting me on, because I know I brought some Bitcoin right before that reversal, so you made me some money on that. So thank you. All right, guys. So you guys already know what it is. I'm Jason Alexander, the Blue Moon of Neptune, here to help you navigate through the illusions of life. I'm in the live with my favorite astrologer, Emily. She's killing it out here. Until next time, you're watching the Market Moonlord, where we immerse the matrix with the motherfucking stars. Peace.